Most, if not all of us, live in sunny, shiny Southern California, which means we know the value of a good Sunday brunch. So I want you to imagine this. You go to your favorite restaurant, you order your favorite dish, avocado toast. But when you get there, the waiter says they don't have avocado, and when you ask for just regular toast, he says they don't have honey for that either. So you go to your local grocery store and decide to make it for yourself. But when you get there, they too don't have honey or avocados, and nearly a third of their produce is completely gone. Well, thanks to bees, this nightmarish scenario is only a nightmare for now. But if we don't do something soon, it will soon become our reality. Today, I'm here to persuade you that the high spike in bee deaths should be a very alarming cause for concern. We're going to go through some of the problems, the causes of those problems, and then I'm going to give you a few unique solutions. So let's dive into the problems. The first one is our food. A huge amount of our daily food intake goes through pollination. According to the Washington Post on February 26 of 2016, there's an estimated between 235 and $577 billion worth of global food production needs to be pollinated, whether by bees or other insects. And certain foods like onions, avocados, and almonds are 100% reliant on pollination from bees specifically. Another problem is we lose the added benefits that come with honey and wax. According to the New York Post on August 19th of 2020, a collection of 14 different studies with over 1,700 people were done, and those who used honey rather than other alternatives for things like cough severity and cough frequency showed a faster and much more successful rate of healing. And this is especially important because while certain animals, other animals can produce wax, only bees can produce honey. They're the only insect on Earth that produces an edible food for humans. Now that we looked at some of the problems, let's dive into some of the causes. The first one being pesticides. According to CNN on July 12th of 2019, the EPA approved extended use of these pesticides that are very deadly to bees in areas that were once under legal protection. And this is echoed by BBC News on August 5th of 2021 when they said a study was done that showed that bee colonies that had higher amounts of pesticides were more likely to die than colonies that didn't. And this is important to remember because in certain other countries like China, Brazil, and the UK, a number of these very pesticides are completely banned. So now that we looked at a couple problems, what are the causes? The first one being climate change. Now, according to the LA Times on May 13th of 2015, bee harvesting, they recorded a 42% loss, but the more alarming number is that more of those deaths were in the summer months than the winter. And this is especially alarming because while winter deaths are kind of expected, spring and summer is when bees are supposed to thrive the most, and it's when they're needed the most for pollination. Now that we've gone through the causes, let's go through some of the solutions. I'll give you a couple of unique ones. The first one may sound ironic, but vaccinations. According to New York Times on December 12th of 2019, that's just what's being suggested by a professor doing a study that said he thinks putting an edible sugar form of vaccination in bee hives and colonies can help with the spike in the bee deaths. Essentially what would happen is they would sprinkle this edible sugar form in the colonies, and once the queen bee has it and is vaccinated, they would transport the queen bee to other colonies in hopes of spreading resistance and vaccination. Another solution would be legal laws. According to the Wall Street Journal, as recent as October 23rd of 2021, that's just what's happening. The U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife has already reported that a petition has been sent to them to put the American bumblebee on the Endangered Species Act. So now that I've given you a couple unique solutions, I today tried to persuade you that bee deaths should be taken very seriously. We went through some of the problems, the causes, and I gave you a few unique solutions. So what's something that you can do? Next time you're in your garden and you see a bee, don't squash it. Next time your child is scared of getting stung, don't let them squash it. Instead, educate. Let your peers, your kids, and others know the importance and values of bees in our community. And there's other little things that you can do by planting a bee house, planting a tree. Just one tree would give habitat and nectar and food for thousands of bees for generations to come. So it may be one small thing at a time, but just doing one thing at a time can help us preserve the American bumblebees and have our children enjoy them and enjoy the fruits of their labor for years to come.